If you are looking for a new gaming PC build and your favorite game is Fortnite, CSGO, Valorant, League of Legends or Rocket League, then this video is going to be definitely for you. I will give you 3 different gaming PC builds for 3 different budgets, the first one being the cheapest one for 144 plus FPS, the second one being a mid-range one that will allow you to play at 240 plus FPS, and the third one being a beast of a PC allowing you to play at 360 plus FPS on average on those esports titles. And I will also give you a bonus system if you want to actually become a pro. You will have the links to all of the components down below in the video description, and I will also explain to you the performance for each of these PC, not only for esports titles but also for AAA titles such as Cyberpunk 2077 or Hogwarts Legacy. That being said, let's start. With the first PC we have the cheapest one on the list, and this one is called the 144 plus FPS on average gaming PC because it's going to average 144 plus FPS on the esports titles I mentioned before. With the CPU we have the i3-12100F, which is a budget CPU that's going to be amazing, especially at this price point. And then for the GPU we have the RX 6650 XT. This GPU has plenty of power to run these type of titles at 144 plus FPS on average on competitive settings, and then on a 15 game average on high to ultra settings, and we are talking about games that are high demanding as well. The RX 6650 XT was able to average 85 FPS, so you will get an amazing experience not only for esports titles but also for other games at 1080p. For the rest of the components you get 1TB of SSD, which is going to be enough, and then we have 16 gigs of RAM, which once again is going to be enough, especially at this price point. The total price for this system is $600 when I'm recording this video, and maybe when you're watching this it's a bit more expensive or a bit cheaper, but at this price point you are getting a great PC overall for 1080p resolution. With the next PC we have a step up, and I call this one the 240 plus FPS on average gaming system because it's going to be able to average 240 plus FPS on the esports titles I've mentioned at the beginning. This one has the Ryzen 5 5600, which is going to be a much better option than the i3-12100F in terms of performance. And remember, esports titles are usually more CPU demanding, so the CPU matters, and the 5600 is a 6-core budget processor that is going to do an amazing job. And then for the GPU we have the RTX 4060. The reason why I went with Nvidia is because Fortnite actually works better with Nvidia GPUs, and if you want to achieve that 240 plus FPS on average on Fortnite, I believe the RTX 4060 is going to be an amazing GPU for this type of scenario. Most of the rest of the components remains the same. You get a Fantex Eclipse case that looks beautiful, it has amazing airflow, and it's going to be plenty for this system. Then one thing that I changed is the RAM. I went with 32 gigs of RAM, which is going to give you an advantage in a game like Fortnite, especially on the 1% lows, meaning that it's going to feel smoother, especially if you want to do streaming as well. And a B550 motherboard has plenty of features for the price. Talking about price, the total price for this system is $717, and you are guaranteed to achieve 240 plus FPS on average on those esports titles. Now, on a 15 game average at 1080p, that same test I mentioned before, the RTX 4060 was able to average 91 FPS, and remember, these are also high demanding titles on high to ultra settings, so you're going to get an amazing experience for 1080p resolution overall. Then with the 360 plus FPS on average gaming system, we have the same RTX 4060. Most of the components are actually the same, but the main difference is the platform. You get the AM5 platform, therefore you get the newest Ryzen 5 7600X, which is an amazing CPU for high CPU demanding titles at 1080p. And then for the memory kit you get 32 gigs of DDR5 memory, 6000 MHz CL32 timings. If you're new to PCs and you don't understand what I mean, this is a really fast 32 gigs of RAM kit. So with this system you are guaranteed to achieve 360 plus FPS on average on the esports titles I mentioned, and in Fortnite of course it's going to depend on the settings and the scenario. But for 1080p high CPU demanding titles, this one is amazing, and it's about $900, which is not cheap but it's also not super expensive. So if you want to start your esports career, you want to take it seriously, I think this PC is going to be an amazing start for you. Now if you're already a professional and you are already earning money as well, or you want to become a professional and you want to take it really seriously, I made a bonus PC that's going to guarantee 500 plus FPS on average on esports titles, but it is quite expensive. I do not recommend this PC for most people, especially because you will be playing at 1080p, but as I said before, if you are already a pro and you have money to spend, then this one is an amazing choice. With the CPU you get the Ryzen 7 7800X3E, which is the fastest CPU on the market, and then for the GPU you get the RTX 4070, which by the way, the RTX 4070 on that same 15 game average at 1080p was able to average 143 FPS, which is a really high number considering AAA titles were tested on high to ultra settings. But coming back to the esports titles, since you get the fastest CPU on the market, you are guaranteed to achieve 500 plus FPS on average, and it's quite expensive at $1,412 when I'm recording this video. So yes, it's not cheap by any means, and that's why if you're not a professional, you just want to play esports titles and you want to become a pro down the line, then the $900 system I think is going to be an amazing choice for you, or even the $700 one. But if you want to take it to the next level, then this one is going to be the right PC for you. Then you also get a liquid cooler for the Ryzen 7 7800X3D, a B650 motherboard that has plenty of features for gaming, and then you also get that same 1TB of SSD. If you want to, you can buy 2TB if you feel like 1TB is not enough for you. However, you can always upgrade your storage down the line, and if your favorite games are esports titles, then I think 1TB is going to be enough anyway. And last but not least, you get a 750 watt 80 plus gold power supply, and by the way, you can play esports titles at 1440p as well, 300 plus FPS with this system. However, if you're going to play esports titles, you may want to play at 1080p resolution, but if you want to upgrade to 1440p down the line, this PC is definitely capable. On that same 15 game average, but this time at 1440p, the RTX 4070 was able to average 100 plus FPS, so definitely a mid-range to high-end GPU for 1440p resolution. Speaking about monitors, down below in the video description, you will have the perfect monitor for each of these PCs. That way, if for example you buy the 144 FPS system, you want to get a budget 144Hz monitor that's also good quality. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. I will try to reply as fast as possible. Thank you guys for watching, thank you for the support, and I will see you